Hi, thank you for coming and presenting here in the Embassy of State of Palestine to have some information about the situation happen in Palestine. We, first of all, highly appreciated the Sri Lankan position, the Sri Lankan support, especially the public support that we have from Sri Lanka. We wish the Sri Lankan media, social media, to be stick to the truth and to follow up what's going on in reality there in Palestine. Another issue that I should express in front of you, that we highly send our deep condolences to the Sri Lankan family who lost their one of the Sri Lankans there in this struggle. We don't know the circumstances, how this happened, what's really happened, because many crossfires happened there. But it's very important to mention that also we had seen and heard through the media that some Sri Lankan, they will send to work there in Israel, 1,000, I don't know exactly the number, that they will renew visas for some illegal Sri Lankan there in Israel. As a friendly country and as a friendly people, it's very important to know that not just Sri Lankan labor, but also others should not be in a danger places, and also for a moral issue and the ethics that we feel here in Sri Lanka, that the Sri Lankan people come bound to, is not to work in occupied territories. It means not to allow Sri Lankan to go and work in the Israeli settlements in the Palestinian occupied land. Third, to take into consideration that all the states in the world, including here in this region like Thailand, had took a decision to evacuate their people. This message also through you I pass to all relevant authorities here in this country. Now, I want to go through to the situation that we have in Palestine nowadays. It's very important to say that the Israeli government, the most extreme Israeli government, had declared very clearly nowadays what they were hiding all the time. They declare war against Palestinians. Against Palestinians, especially our nation in Gaza, where we have a very small area, the most density area in the world, with 2.6 or 5, that they were under siege for more than 16 years. And the maps here can explain, and you can see Gaza Strip, how much small area, and how they are making the siege all around from the areas on the ground close to Israel border and also from the sea, and preventing Palestinians from movement or having connection with outside of the Gaza. So the people there were limited. Many basic needs. When we speak basic needs, it's electricity, it's food, it's water, it's also the right to move, to have connection with outside. So the people were in a very big prison, 2.5 million people in a very big prison along 16 years. No future, no good health care, no education. The percentage of the people, poor people there, you cannot imagine. The youth whom finish their studies and do not have work, also the numbers is too much big. So the situation in Gaza is not just difficult but miserable, and this is as a result of the Israeli siege. Also, the situation in the West Bank is not easy. Also, Palestinians there suffering more, especially when they confiscating their lands, when they are demolishing their houses, when they took to prison youth, women, girls, youngs. The numbers is so high. Some of them, which include also children, women, that they are not sentenced, they are not taking them to the court without any legal instruction. They are taking them for what they called administrative detention, which is just through a secret report from the intelligence. They will take them to the jail for 6 months, and those 6 months extended every time. Some of the Palestinian prisoners spend on this ticket with this allegations 10 years in Israeli prisons, those Palestinian hostages. Declaring a war against our Palestinian defenseless people is a criminal act. Israel, by this step, shows its real face. Israel, considered by all human rights organizations, including the Israeli ones, as an apartheid system. This apartheid is more brutal and more criminal than the apartheid that was in South Africa. This is the real situation that the Palestinians faced. So 7th of October is sort of react, is a result of continuous violence and crimes that the Israelis commit against our people under blind eyes from the international communities. The question is like this: is the Palestinian life not matter? Is the Palestinian blood not matter? Is the Palestinian blood less red than others? Is our children also less matter than others? Why those selective positions that giving the rights for some and preventing others from this? Why applying international law and international human rights law in some places and do not do the same regarding the Palestinians? Where is the international community when Israel increased the number of its settlers and settlements in our occupied territories along 30 years after the beginning of the peace process? Where is the international community taking active steps to apply international law, to hold Israel responsible, to ask Israel to apply international law? As a Palestinians, we already had accepted the compromise. We accepted to have our homeland on 22% from the whole historical homeland for us. We are the genius people there. The promise that Balfour gave for the Jewish as a result of the Second World War, as a result of all the crimes that held against the Jewish in Europe, the Holocaust and before also, was not right. We did not commit anything wrong against them. We are not the one who commit the Holocaust against the Jewish. The opposite. In all our history, not just as a Palestinians, but also as Arabs and Muslims, we never commit any crimes against Jewish. We live together in harmony. When they escaped from Europe, they came to our homelands and we respect them and we help them and we accommodate them. But at the end, whom commit those crimes push to this situation that as a Palestinians and Arabs should pay the price. And we are paying the price for those crimes that happen from the Western countries, especially Germany. If they want to compensate them, they should give them part of Germany or part of UK, not our homeland. Despite all that, we applied international community laws and rules, and we accept the existence of Israel. From the other side, the international community did not took any step to ask Israel to apply international law and to accept the Palestinian state on occupied territories in 1967 with East Jerusalem as a Palestinian capital. What really happened today is a continuous crimes under the eyes of the, especially the permanent members of the Security Council, in particular USA, UK, and France, that all the time, especially the Americans, taking veto decision to prevent applying international law supporting Israel and giving Israel the immunity to continue behave above the international law and to practice all the crimes that they are committing against our people and in our homeland. It's very important to know that, as the Secretary General said, that 7th of October did not come from vacuum. And it's really came as a result of the Israeli crimes, whom always doing everything that you can imagine against our people. The result, the escalation that we saw. Our president, our foreign minister, all the Arab world, they adopt the Arab Initiative for Peace, and they ask the international community to apply that initiative. But also Israel has refused. Netanyahu stands in front of the all the states in the General Assembly in the last September, brought a map and draw a line for the new future trade that can be between East and West across some Arab countries and to reach what they called Israel. He did not show any sort of existence for the Palestinians. He ignored our existence. He is ignoring our rights. This government, with the alliances that in that government, nowadays implementing the plan for ethnic cleansing, the plan of genocide, the plan of ending the existence of the Palestinians. This is why they are asking our people in Gaza to leave Gaza and to transfer them to Sinai or other places. This is why also they are taking all the harsh and difficult steps in the West Bank to impose on Palestinians to leave the West Bank. This is why Egypt and Jordan feel the real threat from such steps that Israel doing nowadays. So it's very important to realize what really going on in Palestine. Every hour there is a massacre. Every hour there is 14 plus or minus Palestinians killed in Gaza. Imagine this. Every hour, 2/3 of them women, children, infant, boys. Every hour, compound of buildings, demolition on the heads of the people. Many of them still under rubble. Many of them. Dogs and cats consuming part of their bodies. This is what's going on under the eyes of the world. The numbers that we had lost until now is something that we cannot imagine. Accusing us of terror, they are a state of terror. The state of Israel is a state of terror. As the Americans using them as mercenary in the region to keep their interests, to control the natural resources, to keep instability in our region, to keep their military products. This is really something that should be not accepted by a human being. Whom did not affected and lost his family in Gaza? Journalist? وائل الدحدوح, the journalist, a reporter of Al Jazeera, lost 3 members of his family. Before also our sister, the other reporter for Al Jazeera, Shireen Abu Akleh, which is having American citizenship. Biden too much worry about Israeli soldiers whom have American citizenship and did not care about Shireen Abu Akleh. Sam Goldstein, who commit the massacre in the Ibrahim Mosque in Al Khalil, was an American doctor, has an American citizenship also. He committed a massacre and killed 29 Palestinians. Did Biden take a responsibility for such a thing? Biden also yesterday did not accept the information that we published regarding the number of our victims. Those people with names, they are human. Our children matter not less than any child in the world. Our blood is matter not less than any blood in the world. Where they were when Israel committed all those crimes before 7 of October. Why they were silent? It should be very clear. Israel, from day one of its existence and the creation, practicing crimes, genocide, and ethnic cleansing to the Palestinian people from day one. And this policy is continued all the time. We had warned the world, all the world, about this policy. And those 2 years start some of the international organizations to realize what we warned for and start to make reports about the Israeli apartheid. But it should be very clear that this silence give the Israel the courage to continue their crimes. It was very clear statement that came from Minister of Finance and the State Minister of Defense, Smotrich, who said that Hawara should be deleted, should be erased. Hawara in the West Bank, Hawara like Turmus Aya, Hawara like other villages that they do not have anything to define themselves. They burned them. They burned the villages. They burned the children in Duma. If you don't remember, remember. They burned our children also in Al-Quds Muhammad Khdir. Is this accepted? Is this thing can be accepted in this world? Why this going on? Why this silence? Our suffers cover all our aspects, our all aspects of our life. It cover all the basic needs for a human being, preventing us from having our natural resources, limiting how much water we should have, how many times to have shower or to drink water, spoiling our farms. This is the life that we have in Palestine before 7th of October. But I want you to know also that Israel has a very clear instruction from the high level of the government and the army commanders, which called the instruction of Hannibal. What is the instruction of Hannibal? Please, you can search about this. It's an instruction that asking the Israeli soldiers to attack and kill any group of fighters that can capture Israeli soldier or any Israelis, to attack both of them, because they do not want to bargain and to pay the price of releasing Palestinians, for instance. For one who is alive, they want them died, the price will be less. This is one of the Israeli instructions. And to give you also another example, in 1978-79, a group of Palestinian fighters came from Lebanon, controlled two buses, put the people in one bus. How to release the people? Barak, who was the prime minister before was one of the generals, killed all of them, including our commanders. Dalal al-Mughrabi was one of our fighters. He catch, after killing her, you can search, you can find the picture, he catch her from her hair and take a photo with her after killing her. This is also what's happened in 7th of October. So the Israeli armies and the Israeli militant people, they killed both Palestinians and Israeli that captured by Palestinians. They want them died, not alive. My message to you as Sri Lankan, your voice is important. Please be behind and beside us. Support justice as you did always. Be in the right side. History will mention you in positive manner if you do so. You suffered a lot from war, and you know the price of terror and war more than anyone else. Through you, my message to the world: they should do something to keep hope for us. We don't want to see our people losing hope. We want peace. We pray for peace. We pray to have our rights like all people and nations in the world. You had the right to fight occupation before. China had, Vietnam had, all the people in the world had the right to defend themselves and to fight the occupier. Also, we have the right to do so. But we are not asking for weapons. We do not want anyone to support us by giving us weapons to fight. We want you and all the international community to protect us, to give us hope, to apply international law, to implement the international community peace accord, to have two-state solution. If this will not happen, at what time will happen? If this will not happen through a peaceful means, this will lead to more and more escalation. International community, especially the Security Council, international organizations, should think and act in different way. It's the time to take acts to apply international law, international humanitarian law equally, without any selective steps. Thank you very much.
Regarding a statement made by the deputy ambassador for Israel in Sri Lanka, he said that Sri Lanka follows the non-aligned voting policy that is outdated, and that Sri Lanka, with regards to how Sri Lanka has had the diplomatic relationship with Pakistan, do you think that Sri Lanka at this point needs to move away from the non-aligned foreign policy and take a side given the humanitarian crisis in Gaza?
I will leave this for the Sri Lankan government, Sri Lankan official leaders. From my point of view, what we are asking for, not just from Sri Lanka, from the whole world, it was very clear. We want to apply international law, international humanitarian law. We want peace. We want, as we accept the two-state solution, we want from the international community to implement this, to impose in Israel to accept this and to follow this. Sri Lanka also have the right to consider its interests. We highly accept this and appreciate this. But also in the same time, Sri Lanka should know that what she faced as a state in International Human Rights Council and also some external intervention to impose some position in Sri Lanka, and whom stand with Sri Lanka and whom was against Sri Lanka. Thank you.
දැන් පසුගිය කාලය පුරාවට මෙහෙට ඔබතුමාව හම්බ වෙන්න එක එක විපක්ෂ නායකතුමා සහ මේ දේශපාලන අධිකාරී පිරිස් සම්බන්ධ වුණා. එතකොට ඔවුන් සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඔබතුමා දැක්වූ අදහස් සහ මොන වගේ සහයෝගයක්ද මේ යුදමය තත්ත්වය සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඔබතුමා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ රජයක් හැටියට?
What we ask from them, the help, or they ask help from us?
What you ask from them, what kind of help?
Okay. It's a duty to say special thank for Sri Lankans. When I say Sri Lankans, I mean all Sri Lankans, Palestine and the Palestinians. One of the main issues that united Sri Lankans, the support that we have across all communities, all political parties, all races. Sri Lanka in front of our eyes, how we consider a one Sri Lankan nation, and really all supporting us. What we expect from the Sri Lanka to voice for justice. What we ask for is to voice for rights and for freedom. This is what we are asking from all Sri Lankans. This embassy was a place that respect the visits and the expression of solidarity and support from all of the Sri Lankans. We have from all the parties, from the government side, from the opposition side, from all the communities. All of them, they came here to express their solidarity. Our only request, with full of respect to all of you, just to voice for justice, just to voice for our rights, our freedom. This is what we ask for, and this is we are continuing to ask from all Sri Lankans.
You mentioned that something about the selective application of this international humanitarian law as far as this conflict is concerned. Do you find any similarity in the way it was applied in Sri Lanka's case in the UN?
They do this selectively also against you and against us. We are in the same situation. Sri Lanka is a state that faced terror. They have internal problems. Sri Lanka know this very well, how they can, as a nation, no one deny the right of the other here in this country. Some they are trying to compare. Why here in Sri Lanka you are not accepting international intervention, but regarding Palestine you accept. Sri Lankan here, one nation. Despite the disputes, the internal disputes and discussion that they have, no one denied the right of the existence of the other. All of you considering yourself as Sri Lankans. How to solve your internal issues It's very important to do and to find a way. And this should be an internal matters you should deal with as a Sri Lankan, without intervention from outside, without imposing anything to you as Sri Lankan. International community, all the states can encourage, can push with sort of support, but not to intervene to show that you are with this group against that group or with this group against the other. At the end, this will make the situation so difficult. I recommend this especially for the Western whom are trying to impose something on Sri Lanka. Instead of their position to impose something on Sri Lanka, to find the way how to encourage Sri Lankan to come together and to solve their internal issue by reconciliation, by discussion, by finding the way to be united.
ඒ වගේම තවත් කාරණාවක් තියෙනවා අපි දැක්ක මේ වර්තමාන වෙනකොටත් පවතිනවා රුසියාවේ සහ යුක්‍රේනයේ යුද්ධය. මේ වෙනකොට තියෙන මේ යුද්ධය සම්බන්ධවත් බටහිර රටවල් වල නිහඬ ප්‍රතිපත්තියක් තමයි අපිට පේන්නේ නිහඬ පිළිවෙත. හැබැයි මේ ඊශ්‍රායලය සහ පලස්තීනයේ නැතන මේ ගාසා තීරයේ පවතින ගැටුමට මේ වෙනකොට බටහිර රටවල් මැදිහත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේක කොහොමද පුතුමා දකින්නේ?
So, like between Russia and Ukraine, there is a big voice in the Western countries. And in this case, when the Palestinians and neighbor Israel is people are keeping making that much noise about what is happening in Palestine. How do you see these attitudes?
This is a very clear hypocrisy and double standard. It's not less than this is, in my point of view, those states with, it's not just silence. Remember that Biden declared to give Israel $14 billion for this war. But you should know that America giving a donation for Israel for security support, just security support, 3.8. You know this, how much this is, from 11 to 13 million dollars every sunrise, just for security. This is just the official support for security. It's very important to know that just from New York State, 60 NGOs giving a donation to Israel annually, $55 million. This is from NGOs to NGOs in Israel. The NGOs in Israel, some of them giving the support for terrorists whom burn our people. Some of them who commit crimes against our families in Palestine. To add to your knowledge that 55% from the American donation to to globe is given to Israel. Those numbers is not something that I pretend. Go, you will find this in the American sites. It's an official numbers. So the Americans, with their position, they are part of the state, the Israeli state, that commit crimes against us.
එවැගේම මේ වෙනකොට ගාසා තීරයේ වෙසෙන කුඩා දරුවන්ට දුන්නේ කැමනේ වතුරනේ මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ කොහොමද ඔබතුමාලා විසඳගන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ? දැන් මේ වෙනකොට එක්සත් ජාතීන්ගේ සංවිධානය මැදිහත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේ මැදිහත් වීම ඔබතුමාලා කොහොමද දකින්නේ?
Because those who are living in the Gaza have prolong anything else to be done. And the UN also express its concern. And how we are going to solve this problem in future?
Today, for instance, there is a discussion in the United Nations General Assembly because several initiatives has been failed in the Security Council by the American veto, that they are giving Israel the support to continue its war against the Palestinians. We are trying our best through our friends to launch a humanitarian aid to impose on Israel to allow sending this aid to the Palestinians in Gaza. This is the way that we can do, this is the way that we appeal all the international community, all the states in the world to do so and to help us sending the aid to our people in Gaza.
ඊශ්‍රායලයෙන් බොහෝ බටහිර රටවල් පෙනී සිටින මහත් ප්‍රශ්නයක්. අද පෙරදිග රටවල් පලස්තීනයෙන් පෙනී සිටින ප්‍රමාණවත් උතුමාලන ප්‍රශ්නය කල්පනාකරණය කරනවා.
Scenario is in two ways. The supporting Palestine. Are you satisfied with the nature of the Arabian
all the Arab country, all the Muslims trying also their best through the United Nations, through the Security Council. You can see, like here also in Sri Lanka, in all the Arab and Muslim world, in Europe, in America itself, there is demonstrations daily. This is very important. This is what we are asking all our friends to do. Voice, your voice is important. Please do this, try to influence your governments to do something to help our people.
දැන් මේ වර්තමාන ජනාධිපති රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමා ප්‍රසිද්ධයි මීට පෙර ශ්‍රී ලංකාව තුල තිබ්බ යුද්ධයේදී සාම සාකච්ඡා ගිවිසුම් ගහලා ඒවා निराකරණය කරන්න එන්නේ. ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ජනාධිපතිතුමා හැටියට මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් මැදිහත් වීමක් කරන්න කියලා ඔබතුමාට පොඩ්ඩක් ඉල්ලීමක් කරන්න යන හැකියාවක් තියෙනවද ඔබට?
Thank you for the question. We have the official diplomatic channels. We can express our positions, our ideas, whatever we want in front of the Sri Lankan friendly government. We have a good relation with Sri Lanka. We can speak openly to them and direct them, and I prefer to do so also regarding this matter. Thank you very much. Thank you.